Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. In today's video, I'm breaking down 13 realistic side hustles that actually make money. No scams, no drop shipping fairy tales, no Lamborghinis, no Ferraris. This is just real practical advice and ways to earn extra income outside of your 9 to 5. So whether you're trading time for money, starting a small business, or playing the long game, I'm going to break that all down in this video. Stay tuned. Okay, so I wanted to break this video down into 3 categories, okay? We have trading your time for money, okay, which is basically just working, okay? Number 2 is something that could be a small business that can actually scale into a large business. And then category 3, we're going to have the long game. This is something that's not going to pay up front, but it could grow into something huge if you actually stick with it. So let's start with number 1. So I wanted to start with consulting for number 1, where you can realistically earn $50 to about $1,000+ per hour. This is the one for anybody that's a professional already watching this channel. So you already have a skill, whether it's marketing, finance, software, logistics, whatever. You can charge $50 to over $1,000 an hour, depending on your specialization. So where I would start with this is LinkedIn. You can do Upwork, and you can build a simple landing page to send your potential clients to. So again, this is something where your network is your net worth. You already have these skills. You may already know people in this arena. Could be engineering, could be architecture, could be whatever. So instead of just doing your job from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, you can then do this on the side and become a consultant. So the startup cost, which I'm going to list for most of these, actually all of these, is going to be anywhere from $0 to about $500. It could be building a landing page. It could be setting up a Zoom account, a Calendly, so you can get people on your calendar. Or just a simple website in general, and an LLC. So leverage LinkedIn to start and use the network that you already have to start consulting. Number 2 are gig driving jobs. You're going to earn anywhere from $12 to $25 an hour net. I hate these. These are usually dumb and they don't make sense. However, if you're in a pinch, it's a good way to earn some money on your own time. Think like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Amazon Flex, Instacart. There's a bunch of these. They're easy to start. They're low skill. Anyone can do them, okay? And the cash comes in quickly. But remember, it is a never-ending hamster wheel. When you stop driving, you stop earning, period. So I don't like these because, and I say $12 to $25 an hour net, is because whenever you see these exaggerated claims of how much people are making, yes, they may earn 30, 35, 40 bucks an hour, but once you take into consideration all the wear and tear on your car, maintenance, gas, all that stuff, maybe even increased insurance costs because you're specifically using your personal vehicle for these gigs, it's going to eat into your profits substantially, okay? A lot of the times the juice is not worth the squeeze, but I put it on this list because it is an option for most people. The startup costs are going to be anywhere from $0 to $1,000 or the cost of the car. So think like smartphone, car insurance, gas, maintenance, things like that. And you will most likely need a background check and a platform approval before you get started. Okay, number 3, if you still want to be around cars, but you want to make more money and have more fun and meet more people and potentially network with very, very, very high net worth people, it is valet driving, okay? I know you may not think of this as glamorous, but it's actually low-key one of the funnest jobs I've ever had. I used to valet in college, and I valeted a little bit after that as well. So here you're going to net about $20 to $40 an hour plus, if not more. It all depends on the location of where you work. You can do private parties. You can valet expensive hotels, expensive restaurants, fancy restaurants. The clientele is amazing. I've met professional athletes. I've met movie stars. I've met business owners that are worth 8-9 figures. A lot of people come through in these different hotels for events. But more low key than ride sharing, it's super surprisingly profitable. I couldn't believe how much money we used to make. The reason you make more money than Uber is because none of this stuff is reported, okay? Hold on. They're cash tips. Every single person that I worked with 100% ethically and morally reported every single penny they made to the IRS, and they paid taxes on that money, right? Okay, so it's fun. You get to park Ferraris. You also park really crappy cars too. But the startup costs for this are going to be $0 to about maybe $100, depending on if you need khakis or running shoes, for example. You're often directly hired through the valet company itself, and you just work for them, right? So super low key, and if you're smart about this, you can actually network with really high-end clientele, if you want to call it that, especially the private parties, you guys. The private parties that I valeted were 10, 15, 20,000 square foot houses, CEOs, things of that nature, right? They have these big parties at their houses, their estates, if you will. So check out valet driving if you haven't. Okay, number 4, to stay in the time for money vein, but also in the networking vein. If you can network here, it may actually pay off for you. So this is bartending or serving, okay? Waiter, waitress. Again, here you can net about $20 to $40+ an hour net, depending on where you work. You have cash tips. Again, everyone that I used to ever serve with, I was a busboy, and I also used to serve in college as well. And I worked at a nightclub. I did a lot of stuff, you guys, in my 20s. Cash tips, flexible shifts, and decent money. So especially in upscale restaurants during events, it's physically demanding. Nights and weekends, they're a pain in the butt. But you can make a good living on it depending on where you work. So startup costs, I don't know, $0 to a couple $100 depending on the clothes, shoes, dress shoes, that kind of thing, depending on the role. Number 5, again, trading your time for money. And we're going to get into the more advanced ones later, but these are the ones that are very accessible. Number 5 is tutoring. Okay, here you can make anywhere from about $15 to over $100 an hour, depending on what you're tutoring and who you're tutoring. Here's a hint: tutor rich kids. Sorry. Tutor kids that have rich parents. So if you're good at math, science, test prep, this is gold. Parents are going to pay big for like SATs, ACTs, any kind of tutoring that is going to advance their child to the next level in life, okay? You can do it locally or you can do it online. There's sites like Wyzant, WYZANT, and the startup cost could be anywhere from $0 to maybe a couple $100. You can buy a whiteboard. You can buy a webcam if you're going to do it online. Maybe some test prep books, materials, things like that. So again, you can do local ads for free. You can do online websites that'll market you for free. Number 6, I've never done this, but you can be a notary or a loan signing agent. What I researched is you can make about $15 to $20+ an hour until you get a little bit more established. So this could be a good side hustle once you get certified. Obviously, when you think of notaries or loan signings, you think of like real estate deals, loan closings. You show up, you stamp some papers, you get paid, right? I'm sure there's more that goes into it. Again, I've never done this one. I've done the other ones. The startup cost is low, but you're going to need to build a local network, okay? Whether it's through lenders, closing agents, things like that. But you also have some startup costs. You have certification, background check, maybe a notary journal, stamp, travel bag, all that good stuff to stay organized. Check this one out. Okay, so this is section 2 of the video. This is where we get into small business side hustles, okay? This is where if you scale these smartly, you can either keep it small or you can go big. This is what I recommend you do. All these first ones, that's when you're in like, college, maybe in your 30s, whatever, you don't have a lot of responsibility. That's trading your time for money. Section 2 is what I call the small business side hustles. So this is where you're going to require a little bit more effort up front, but you're building an actual business and the income potential is way higher in my opinion. So check these out. I have a couple of friends that are doing these, so that's why I decided to list these, and they're very obtainable. Again, we're not doing the Lamborghini, Instagram, 17,000 side hustles to make you a millionaire. These are ones that are going to make you maybe, 1,000 to, if you scale it properly, multiple 5 figures per month. So I know it sounds crazy, but here's number 7, which is balloon decorations. So this is party decor, okay? It can be a big business depending on what you approach. You have birthdays, you have baby showers, you have graduations. I had this for both of my daughters' christenings, okay? They got christened when they were like 1 or 2 years old, and they had beautiful balloons with their name and everything. It was awesome. Here's why I like this, because it's low cost of entry. And if your work goes viral, say you post on Instagram or you start a YouTube channel, you're going to be booked out for the rest of the year, okay? So the startup costs on this are going to be anywhere from a couple $100 for the material to maybe a couple thousand, depending on how big and elaborate you go. But you have balloons, you could have a helium tank, the stands, you could have a pump, marketing materials, all that good stuff. And then, of course, you need something to transport all this stuff in. So optional is like a van, maybe an SUV, or, a hatchback with the seats down, if I had to guess. I've never done it, but I've seen the girl that we've hired a couple times for my daughter's christenings. She did a fabulous job and, made a few $100. Number 8 is in the same vein. This is party rentals. And when I say party rentals, you can do, equipment rentals, stuff like that. But for the party rentals, I'm actually speaking specifically on like the blow up houses and bouncy house rentals. This is actually pretty popular on YouTube, but you have to realize there's a lot of liability in this niche. But you can make anywhere from, $1,000 to 20,000. You could turn this into a full-fledged business per month. The bigger you go, obviously you have logistics. You have to have bigger box trucks. You have to have a warehouse. You have to have, proper maintenance on these things, cleaning, washing, a lot of headache. But if you think about like chairs, tables, specifically bouncy houses in this case, that's what my friend does. It's high margin, but you're going to need, again, that storage space, insurance, all that stuff. Waivers don't mean anything. If a kid falls off the top of your, pink and gold castle and, God forbid, hurt themselves, that's going to come back to you most likely. The only way I would start one of these businesses if I had plans to scale and you have crews doing different multiple parties every weekend, then you get into things like logistics, customer relationship management software, all that good stuff. Startup costs is going to be anywhere from like $1,000 to could be $50,000 depending on, the vehicles, storage space, rent, insurance, all that stuff. But once you get them in and they actually pay for themselves again, the rest after that is pretty much pure profit. Okay, and finally, in the small business space, think about Airbnb or being a landlord. The reason I broke these into two different things where the earning potential is potentially negative, you can lose money being a landlord, all the way to unlimited, depending on how much you scale. This one is a classic, okay? It's probably why you started watching my channel too. I have a lot of how to flip home videos. I have a lot of real estate investing videos. But if you've got extra room or investment property, you can earn hundreds or thousands of dollars a month, okay? But you need capital and you're going to be dealing with guests. So you're running a small business. There's regulations, there's upkeep, there's all that stuff. So Airbnb was very popular on YouTube. Everyone and their mother was building an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU. Everyone had an Airbnb by the local lake, right? And then all the local municipalities said, sorry, you can't do short-term rentals anymore, and all those businesses went bust, right? So be careful about regulation. That's why I have Airbnb and landlord in this same tranche, if you will. So startup costs are going to be anywhere from zero if you already own the property to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending on how big you want to go. But if you already have, say, for example, rooms in your house, maybe you just need to furnish them, okay? A couple grand, not even. Say you have an ADU in the backyard, okay? You just happen to have a shop, you turn it into an accessory dwelling unit, you get the permits, all that good stuff, maybe, 20, 30,000. It just depends. It depends on whether you're renting a room, you're co-hosting, or if you already own the property outright. But basically your expenses are going to be furnishing, permits, cleaning supplies, and then all the fees that come with it. Section 3, the long game, baby. This is where you defer gratification, okay? And this is where you can potentially make life-changing money. These are the long game side hustles. They're not going to make you money overnight, but they may compound over time, and they can eventually set you free, get you out of the 9-to-5 completely. You're looking at it, okay? That's what this YouTube channel did for me. Went from cubicle Marko, nights and weekends, grinding. Hey, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance to, hey, maybe I'll make a video this week because I feel like it, Marko, okay? So I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying that there's no BS. This is the truth. So let's start with number 10, which is blogging. Okay, blogging is a little bit more old school in the days of YouTube and social media and all that. But there's a lot of blogs that still make a lot of money. So blogs are very slow to build, but if you write about something people care about and are relatable, and you can rank on Google, you can make thousands a month from affiliate marketing and ad revenue. Okay. But you have to think niche, niche, and you have to make it relatable. In the age of AI, a lot of these blogs, they got absolutely decimated. Okay, their traffic went from, hundreds of thousands to almost zero overnight. I know blogs that lost 90% of their traffic. So I'm just being real with you. But if you are real and you're your authentic self and you connect with people in a certain niche, I promise you will build an audience. Okay, I've done it myself. So with something like this, your startup costs could be anywhere from zero to maybe hundreds of dollars. So think of like domain, domain name, hosting, a WordPress theme if you want to use WordPress. And then you also have SEO tools. So for those of you that don't know, SEO is just search engine optimization. I used to use a lot of these when I first started Whiteboard Finance. You have things like Ahrefs, you have keywords everywhere. And then now everyone and their mother uses, AI, Claude, ChatGPT, whatever. It just helps them with the research. A lot of content now is being created by AI. So just be cognizant of that and be careful. But I will tell you this. Your earning potential on this is going to be anywhere from $0 and a lot of frustration if you're just doing it for money, which you should not do, to hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a year. Okay, that's 100% God's honest truth. But In the vein of affiliate marketing, I do want to give a shout out to a tool that I wish was around when I first started with YouTube and with my blog, and that's going to be ClickBank Accelerator. Real quick, I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, ClickBank Accelerator. If you're looking to build real income online through affiliate marketing, this is something that you absolutely need to check out. Accelerator is ClickBank's all-in-one platform that lets you build, launch, and manage your funnels, websites, or blogs without duct taping together 5 different tools. Think about this. You have email capture, automation, analytics, domain setup. It's all built in. Most people starting out in affiliate marketing either get overwhelmed by the tech or they waste time and money on bloated software that they don't need. Accelerator strips all that away and gives you only what matters so you can focus on one thing, getting paid. And here's the kicker. It's backed by ClickBank, one of the most trusted names in affiliate marketing over the last 20 years. If you're serious about affiliate income, even if you're just getting started, this tool will save you hours and hundreds of dollars every month. So if you want to start or scale your online income without the tech headaches, check out ClickBank Accelerator using my link below. You'll be up and running faster than you think. Thanks again to ClickBank for sponsoring this video. Number 11, if you don't like writing and you're better at speaking or communicating in front of a camera, number 11 is starting a YouTube channel, okay? I know this sounds difficult. I know it sounds unattainable. I know you think you're probably the least interesting person on planet Earth and you can't talk to your mother, let alone a camera to strangers, right? But a YouTube channel, you can go from 0 to unlimited earning potential. This is my favorite. YouTube is the most scalable income source on this list, in my opinion, other than the small business ones that I mentioned earlier. But it's also the hardest. You have to be consistent, you have to provide value, and you have to build trust with your audience, okay? But if you stick with it, again, this could be life-changing money. I went from working at a publicly traded bank at a cubicle, making, pretty good money to like, hey, I don't have to do that anymore, right? And now I wake up and I'm in my t-shirt and I play with my kids, right? And I sip pina coladas on the beach, right? And life is so easy. No, it's not true. You still run a small business. You still have to provide a lot of value and you have to show up consistently. So the startup cost for this, depending on what you already have, if you already have, a cell phone, some lights, good lighting, it could be $0, right? But realistically, it's going to be a couple grand. I would recommend buying a nice DSLR camera. Audio is everything. Okay. This microphone itself was probably a few $100s. This mixer right here, sorry. This was a couple $100. All of this is going to cost money. Lighting is important. Okay. Sound is important, even more so than the video quality. There's also things you can subscribe to that help you build out your videos or give you research similar to Hrefs and keywords everywhere that I mentioned earlier. But in this day and age, you can use ChatGPT for $20 a month to get ideas. But at the end of the day, it needs to be authentic and you need to find a niche and you need to be relatable, okay? The thing that with this channel is that I have videos in like every niche of personal finance, entrepreneurship, and real estate, and even, Bitcoin stuff, obviously. So my audience is very segmented, which is not necessarily a good thing. But at the end of the day, if you're just yourself and you provide good value, you will build a loyal following over time. Okay, number 12, if you enjoy writing but don't want to do a blog or you don't want to do YouTube, check out a paid newsletter. A lot of finance newsletters do very, very well to the tune of potentially 5-6 figures a month, okay? So if you love to write and you have an opinion or expertise on something, you can start with like a Substack or a Beehive newsletter. You build an audience, you monetize through subscriptions or sponsorships, and then you think of yourself as almost like a mini media company, okay? That's kind of what this is, except I do YouTube, okay? I feel like I'm a better communicator verbally and visually than I am, through written word, excuse me. So the startup cost for this is going to be anywhere from $0 to maybe a couple $100. Again, I mentioned Substack, that's free. Beehive is free, but it also offers premium features for a paid cost. Optional, you can do like a custom domain and you can have maybe someone design your newsletter assets so it looks consistent and the brand looks consistent. But check out a paid newsletter. The ones that do the best, in my opinion, are the finance ones. Typically, if you are, say you're good at trading stocks or you have some sort of macro analysis or some sort of independent research, those typically tend to do the best money-wise. Then finally, number 13, if you are very creative and you still want to scratch that entrepreneurial niche, This could go under the small business category, but this is also one that kind of takes a while to get going. So I put it under the low and slow category, and that's starting an Etsy store or some sort of e-commerce. That could be Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon. You create a product or you white label a product from China, you ship it to Amazon, people buy it, they ship it to the customer, you never see the product, and everyone's happy, right? So Etsy store, Amazon FBA, e-commerce, stuff like that. So these could be digital downloads, it could be print on demand, it could be custom gifts. Etsy and other things similar to Etsy, they let you turn your creativity into cash, okay? However, a lot of these niches are saturated, okay? You have all these people that do like laser engraving on wood, or I make cutting boards. So does everyone and their mother, right? You either have to be really good or you have to stand out with marketing. So you got to stand out through all that traffic. If you didn't read the book, what is it, like Purple Cow? I can't remember. Purple Cow is a very good marketing book. You need to learn how to stand out from the crowd. So what are the startup costs? It all depends on what you're making. If you're making digital products, I don't know, $0 to a couple $100. You can make, Premiere Pro costs some money. Etsy fees cost money. Canva Pro costs money. Design tools cost money. But again, now you have AI, could help with a lot of the designing. And then also physical products, it all depends, right? If you get some big laser engraver, it's going to be, a couple grand. If you get some sewing machine, it's going to be a couple grand. So it all just depends on what you're selling. So inventory, shipping materials, branding, marketing, all that stuff could be anywhere from $500 to thousands of dollars, right? So, but the earning potential is, again, 0 to unlimited. So whether you want to trade your time for money, you want a small business on the side, or you're building your long-term freedom machine, there's something in this video for you. I've done most of the stuff in this list, okay? The only things I haven't done is Etsy store, but I have sold digital products. Check out my home affordability spreadsheet down below. Haven't done notary, haven't done Etsy, and haven't done, a couple other things, but I've done pretty much everything else on this list. So let me know in the comments down below, which of these would you actually do? Are you already crushing one of them? Let me know, or if you have any ideas, let me know down in the comments below. Obviously, if you want to take your finances to the next level, check out my small business, Whiteboard Finance University. It's unbelievable bang for the buck. We have live streams every Thursday. I changed it to Thursday because my girls have soccer practice now. And I coach their soccer team on Wednesdays. By coach, she's 3.5 actually. By coach, I mean we play duck, duck, goose and do some other stuff, and we kick the ball around, okay? So don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell. Smash it, destroy it, obliterate it. Hit your computer screen, smash your tablet, smash the bell so you don't miss the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a prosperous day. And don't trade your time for money.